Behind every unanswered phone call is maybe a man who desperately wants connection, but no longer has the emotional energy to reach back. Friendships are built over years, but they can slowly change when emotional exhaustion enters the picture before assuming someone no longer cares. It's worth understanding the silent pressures that many older men experience. Point 1. Pretending becomes a daily routine. Saying "I'm okay" day after day may seem harmless, but constantly hiding emotional struggles can become mentally exhausting, leaving little energy for social connection. Point 2. They lose the desire to keep up appearances. After years of pretending everything is fine, some men simply run out of emotional strength. Rather than continuing the act, they quietly step away from social situations. Point 3. They begin carrying their burdens alone. Many older men believe they should solve their own problems without asking for help. They may worry about becoming a burden or believe others have enough concerns already. As a result, they quietly carry emotional pain by themselves. Over time, this silent responsibility becomes heavier, making it more difficult to maintain the energy needed for close friendships. Point 4. Emotional fatigue slowly replaces motivation. Emotional exhaustion rarely arrives all at once. It often builds through years of stress loss, changing responsibilities, and personal disappointments. As emotional energy decreases, activities that once felt enjoyable, including meeting friends or returning phone calls, may begin to feel like obligations instead of opportunities. Point 5. They feel there is no right way to explain their feelings. Some men know they are struggling, but cannot easily describe what they are experiencing. They may not have the words to explain sadness, loneliness, or emotional fatigue. Rather than risk being misunderstood, they simply remain quiet, hoping the difficult feelings will eventually pass on their own. Point 6. They fear being judged instead of understood. For many men over 60, emotional vulnerability still feels uncomfortable. They may worry that admitting they feel overwhelmed will make them appear weak or incapable because of this fear. They avoid conversations that require emotional honesty. Instead of seeking support from trusted friends, they slowly withdraw, creating even greater emotional distance over time. Point 7. Retirement can quietly change their identity. For decades, work may have provided purpose, structure, and daily interaction. Retirement often brings freedom, but it can also create unexpected emotional challenges without the routine and sense of contribution they once had. Some men begin questioning their value. This shift in identity can affect confidence and gradually reduce the desire to stay socially engaged with longtime friends. Point 8. Grief often hides behind silence. Growing older often means experiencing the loss of loved ones, lifelong friends, physical abilities, or familiar routines. Grief does not always appear as tears. Sometimes it appears as silence, emotional distance, or a gradual withdrawal from social life. A man who seems distant may actually be carrying sorrow that he has never fully expressed. Point 9. They feel emotionally drained by everyday conversations. When someone is emotionally exhausted, even ordinary conversations can require significant mental effort. Answering questions, making small talk, or pretending to be cheerful may feel overwhelming. Rather than explaining why they seem different, some men simply stop participating in social interactions altogether. Point 10. They want peace more than attention. As people grow older, priorities often change. Many men become less interested in being socially active simply for the sake of appearances. Instead, they seek calm environments and meaningful relationships. If certain friendships leave them feeling emotionally drained rather than supported, they may quietly choose distance without creating conflict. Point 11. Physical health can affect emotional well-being. Health challenges such as chronic pain, sleep problems, reduced mobility, hearing loss, or ongoing medical conditions can influence emotional well-being. Feeling physically unwell often reduces the energy available for social activities. If someone experiences persistent withdrawal, sadness, hopelessness, or loss of interest in daily life, it is important to encourage evaluation by a qualified healthcare professional, as these symptoms may be related to treatable physical or mental health conditions. Point 12. Pride makes asking for help difficult. Many older men spent their lives helping others rather than receiving help themselves. Even when emotional struggles become overwhelming, Asking for support can feel unfamiliar. Instead of saying, "I need someone to talk to," they continue carrying everything alone until emotional exhaustion begins affecting their relationships. Point 13. They start protecting their remaining emotional energy. After years of carrying responsibilities and hidden emotional burdens, some men become extremely protective of their time and emotional resources. They may limit social activities, avoid unnecessary conflict, and spend more time in quiet environments. This is not always a sign that they no longer care about others. Sometimes it is simply their way of preserving the emotional strength they still have. Point 14. Understanding can make a difference. Before assuming an older man no longer values his friendships, consider that emotional exhaustion may be influencing his behavior. A patient conversation and genuine understanding can sometimes mean more than you realize. Point 15. No one has to face emotional struggles alone. If you or someone you care about has been withdrawing for an extended period, feeling persistently overwhelmed, or losing interest in daily life, reaching out to trusted family members, close friends, or a qualified healthcare or mental health professional can be an important first step toward getting some. Point 16. They no longer feel truly understood. One of the most painful parts of emotional exhaustion is feeling that no one really understands what you're going through. Some older men may try to hint that they're struggling, only to receive quick advice or have the conversation changed. After enough disappointing experiences, they may stop talking altogether. Rather than risk feeling misunderstood again, they choose silence, even with people they have known for decades. Point 17. They quietly let friendships fade instead of ending them. Most emotionally exhausted men don't wake up one day and decide to end a friendship. More often, the distance grows little by little. One unanswered message becomes several. One canceled visit becomes months without contact. There is rarely an argument or dramatic goodbye. The friendship simply fades because they no longer have the emotional energy to maintain it, even though they may still care deeply about the people in their lives. Point 18. They miss their friends more than anyone realizes. Emotional withdrawal doesn't always mean someone wants to be alone forever. Many older men genuinely miss the laughter, conversations, and companionship they once enjoyed. The problem isn't a lack of affection, it's a lack of emotional strength. They may think about calling an old friend many times, yet still feel too mentally exhausted to pick up the phone. What looks like indifference from the outside may actually be emotional fatigue on the inside. Point 19. Small acts of compassion can help rebuild connection. While emotional exhaustion can create distance, understanding and patience can sometimes help restore meaningful relationships. A simple phone call without pressure, a quiet visit, or listening without judgment may remind someone that they don't have to carry every burden alone. Although everyone's situation is different, genuine compassion and supportive relationships can play an important role in emotional well-being, alongside professional help when it is needed.